Hello everyone, and thank you Ladja for introducing me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really glad to be here. Today we have heard many talks and we will hear many talks and discussions about practicalities of the community building. What exactly to do? There was Dan Franz speaking about GUC. There were people on the panel discussions about highly impactful communities, speaking what exactly make these communities impactful. There was Teresia speaking about how to measure it well. I would like to, in my talk, to get a bit deeper, to help us understand, or maybe to help us question, why to connect people, why community building actually matter. But first, let's us wake up a bit. I've got 4 quick tasks for each single one of you. Each task, 10 seconds maximum. So first task, find a neighbor, someone who sits next to you. A quick one, I guess. Second one, introduce yourself. Name is enough. All right. Third task is going to be a bit more difficult. Answer to the person you have just introduced to. Why does the community building matter to you? Okay. 10 seconds, 1 sentence is enough. I'm excited to see the excitement, but there is a 4th task coming. All right. I was kind of expecting that. Nonetheless, there is 4 tasks. So remember what your neighbor has just said. And then let's answer the last question. Why is that important to you? Whatever you have just said. I'm glad to see all the lively discussions. Keep the excitement for the whole conference and keep that discussions about the reasons why. And now I would like to give you a brief thought about why connecting people matter. So why? Why are we here? Why do we connect people? Why is it something important? What is at the end of our reasoning, at the end of our whys? Each of us may have different answers, but I will take a look at 2 main, I'd say, dominant or widespread belief systems and how they approach community building. First, faith. And I know I'm a bit on a thin layer because this is the topic people don't usually talk about, together with the sexuality and politics. But then let's talk about science, hopefully bringing the comfort and reason back in. First, faith. Faith guides the believers in what is good and what is bad. I will focus here on the most widespread belief system globally and also the most widespread locally, traditionally, which is Christianity and its fundamental document, the Bible. So the best-selling book tells us something at the very beginning. It's narrative about the creation of the whole world, and it says at the very beginning that there was something which was not good. What was it? What is the first not good thing according to this best-selling storybook? What? No. So there's first thing which says it's not good for a man to be alone. So loneliness. Let's take a look on the more bright side. What is God, aka the highest ideal? So the book tells us that it's love, pointing to some kind of relationship between people. And it tells us it's three persons for some reason. So there is this ghost, son, and father. So it's a connection of people, more than two. And a relationship and a connection of people seems to me like a definition of a community. All right, so let's take a look at how the science approaches the question of building communities. Science, unlike the faith, is not exactly providing us with the ultimate answers, but it's pretty good with answering the answers we feed it to. So let's help ourselves with the question, how to achieve a long-term happiness. And there is actually research on that. It's called Harvard Study of Adult Development. They took two groups of boys in 30s in Britain, and they studied them throughout the decades. And they were measuring and figuring out what makes those people happy. And the answers were really clear. So it's not the fame, it's not the money, it's not the food you eat or pictures you take on your Instagram, it's social connections. With word community being mentioned many, many, many times. The clarity was also on the opposite answer. What is bad? Loneliness. Loneliness is toxic. So we see that this old traditional belief system and the new modern science agree on something. And when they do, I think it's a good time for all of us to pay attention. All right, so we may be excited and bought in for why it matters to build communities. But what communities actually to build? What kind of people to bring together? We may have eternal excitement, but we have limited capacities. We've got limited time. So what to focus on? And here I would like to propose three questions each of us should ask about what communities to build. First one, purpose. Does the community, does the group of people we are about to connect together is surrounded around something which makes sense to you? Is it something you feel it's right? It's something you feel it's correct? Second, impact. Does the community have a strength? Does it have any potential to change things? What would happen if you did nothing? I mean, if you have a nice purpose, but you don't have a strength, what are you going to change? Like, it's good for nothing, seems to me. And the last, and finally, belonging. Dan already mentioned that. I mean, you can have a community of people with purpose and strength, but it can be abusive and it can be not inviting other people. So, to create a healthy community, I propose a last question, and that is whether you and other people feel they belong there. To sum it up, building communities is something which is good to people. Agrees modern science and ancient religious scripture. Nonetheless, we may be absolutely excited about bringing people together, but we've got limited time. And therefore, let's focus on where it matters. Do you like the purpose? Is it something impactful? And do people, regardless of their differences, feel accepted there? To all of you, I wish you to have a clear reason why you do whatever you do, and to have a wisdom, strength, and heart to do it well. Thank you.